Hi, this is Willie Crawford, and today I'd like to discuss with you why you need a mobile application, or rather why you need to be using mobile applications in your business to generate traffic, leads, and buying customers to your business today. And if you're not doing that, I think that by the end of this presentation you will be totally convinced that you're missing out on probably 85% of your market. A mobile application basically lets you reach buying customers and new subscribers who actually read your message, while things like traditional email marketing are becoming less and less effective every day. In fact, most of my friends now admit, the internet marketers who do email marketing admit to noticing that fewer than 5% of their emails are currently being opened. And yet with text messaging and direct messaging, where you're pushing a message to them using a mobile app, open rates are as high as 98%. So if you're not using mobile apps, you're missing out on most of your buying customers. Now, first of all, who am I? I'm an internet marketer. I've been around for 15 plus years. Before that, I was in the military. I have niche websites that regularly get over 1 million unique visitors per month, and I have an email list of over 1.4 million subscribers. So I do get internet marketing. I consult with lots of very, very big names in the internet marketing space, as well as in the direct response space, and I've even started numerous internet marketing speakers' careers, such as Stephen Pierce, Ken MacArthur. Most members of my mastermind group are actually multi-millionaires. We sit around, we share experiences, we share what's working, we strategize, we all run real businesses. And I mentioned that because I was taught that your income will be the average of your 5 closest friends, and so I do choose who I associate with very carefully, because I want people who are actually doing what they say they're doing. And because of that, I also have access to people and resources that most online marketers don't have access to, data that most online marketers don't. And so I know what is working right now in the world of direct response marketing. Now, I grew up on a farm and then went to NC State University, went into ROTC, joined the military, spent 20 years flying C-130 aircraft, and right before retiring I started my own internet-based business. And that's what I do full-time now, but I don't work very hard at it because it doesn't require a lot of work. And I'm able to see past all the hype and the fluff, and so I want to share with you what's actually working today as far as generating traffic and getting paying customers. I'm also a family man. This is my grandson, whom I take for a walk many days. I swing by my youngest granddaughter's house, grab him, and we go for a walk. I live in Northwest Florida on the Emerald Coast. This is a view from one of my favorite restaurants, where I often sit, even in the wintertime, on the back deck and eat and just watch the waves. And this is my wife, Nancy, over at a friend's house, where I spend a lot of time masterminding. This is where one of the places my mastermind group meets once a month. Another view of the same place. It's a 28,000 square foot house with a full-size gym upstairs, so I actually get to work out while I'm masterminding. That's the kitchen. I am a cook. I've written a cookbook and I do a lot of cooking, so I like kitchens. I also vacation and spend time around my in-laws in the Philippines. These are all nieces in their early 20s, and I remember when all of them were born, which gives you an idea of how old I am. And when I go there, I often hang out in the bamboo hut, but more often than not, I take better accommodations. These are friends, my friend Nicole Dean and Lynn Terry, 2 leading internet marketers, visiting me here in Florida. More friends, this is Brad Fallon, John Carlton, Rich Sheffrin, and Yarrow Stark. We're masterminding in Vegas there. Another shot of us in Vegas with Jeff Walker. You can see the airfield down in the background. I do hang out with a lot of top marketers, and we brainstorm, we share what's working. That's why I share these pictures, because I want to show you that I do know what is working in the world of direct response and in internet marketing. I also do a lot of cruising. This is a picture of me standing in front of the Carnival Dream. My wife and I, another picture in front of the Carnival Dream, politically incorrect photo opportunity. That's the food we had to put up with on the cruise ship. More life on the cruise ship. This is a different ship. This is the Carnival Miracle. That was that was January 2011. Same ship. Me hanging out with Joel Peterson, David Fry, I don't remember this gent's name, and my friend Kurt Christensen. Us internet marketers were on a cruise, and yet being workaholics, we found the internet cafe, and we spent more time Probably when we weren't we spent a lot of time on the ship just brainstorming. But anyway, on board the Carnival Dream there, I do live the dream lifestyle. I do that because my website's got a lot of traffic that converts to sales. Things have changed over the past few years, and those who adjust still make lots of sales and lots of money online. Those who don't are wondering why they're not making sales, and I think the solution for many of them is to have their own mobile apps, which is what this presentation is about. I'm going on a 5-day mastermind cruise in December, another one in January. I take 30-day vacation to the Philippines. I'll probably be there all of the month of April, and I'm going to be shooting a video in the Dominican Republic in May at this mansion here, where we'll actually fly in via helicopter, private helo, and I'll spend a week masterminding at this mansion. Again, I live the lifestyle, and the reason I can do that is because I get a lot of traffic and I make a lot of sales. And so I just wanted to show you that, you know, the internet marketing stuff is not all hype, but it takes doing the right things. And so let me run over with you, if I could, some of my traffic generation tactics that I've used for the past 15 years. One of my favorite ones is to just get other people to send you free traffic. And in that case, I'm talking about joint ventures where you get someone with a large list or dozens of people with large lists to promote your product, and I'll send you lots of traffic at the same time or over a protracted period of time. You can also jointly develop and market products, and there you share the risk in creating a product and in getting it out there, and you leverage each other's assets. So I do a lot of that too. Again, joint ventures, but lately I focus on very, very big joint ventures with my my mastermind group. And when I mentioned my mastermind group and I mentioned the level these guys play at, what brought them to me was the fact that I have this huge list and a lot of traffic to my websites, and it's very responsive traffic. And so I'm emphasizing to you, you need to continue building a list, but you need to build a list of very responsive people, the right traffic. You need to get in front of the right traffic. As far as joint ventures are concerned, the best contacts are made in face-to-face meetings. That's the reason I do so much cruising, go to so many seminars and conferences, things like that. But the second best contacts probably being made through gradual relationship building. So you look on Facebook, and I'm out there with 5,000 friends, and I'm on forums like the Warrior Forum with 10,000 posts. All of those are building relationships that over time turn into joint venture partners promoting my products and me working with them. But that takes time. The saying is you need to dig your well before you're thirsty. That is, you don't wait until you've got a product already created and go to people you don't know and say, can you promote my product? That's hard. They won't do it. And so if you don't have the contacts in advance, typically it can be very tough to get people to promote your product. And so you need to look at alternative solutions if you're not already well known. I have a long-term affiliate program. I'm very big on long-term affiliate programs because there you've got lots of people over time continuously making sales for you. So it's very, very worthwhile, but again, it takes time and there's no guarantees. I've watched fully 2/3 of the products I've watched launch over the past 15 years have been what I would consider failures. And again, it's a matter of getting enough affiliates or joint venture partners on board promoting your product. And so there are no guarantees with affiliate programs, but I do encourage you to have one at the same time. I've used content generation. I've written over 2,500 articles personally. I've done tons of videos. I have my own radio shows. I do podcasts. I use press releases. I've been writing newsletters since 1996, so I have lots of newsletters archived online. I blog. I've been blogging since 2004, and I'm very, very big in social media, big enough that leading publications like Social Media Mag actually quote me or let me have columns in the publications themselves. So I am a social media expert too. So I know all these different methods of creating content, and you put that content out there, the search engines rank you for your keywords, and it does bring in traffic. But content generation is a long-term strategy, and it can be extremely labor-intensive. I mean, writing all those articles, creating all those videos, doing all those broadcasts. I've probably done 300 radio shows and broadcasts, podcasts. So it works, but it's labor intensive. Paid traffic can be very cost effective. When I talk paid traffic, I'm talking pay-per-click like Google AdWords. The thing is, it can be also very expensive, and it can be tricky. You have to know your numbers. Also, it's not a level playing field. For example, use Facebook ads, but people like me use tools like social ad tools. And what social ad tools does is it'll let me or others run say 10,000 different ads all at once, where we have different text and different pictures, and the software rotates the images and the text to optimize the ad to find the one that pulls the best. This software is not even available unless you're probably doing about 10 grand per month in ad spend. It's free software actually, but the company charges you a percentage of your ad spend on Facebook's ads. And you can see up at the top here it said that 1,272,243 optimization decisions were made in the last 24 hours. That's the software comparing results of clicks and costs and optimizing your pay-per-click campaign. So again, pay-per-clicks work beautifully, but it's not a level playing field unless you're a big dog. You're at a disadvantage buying traffic, I think. And so I don't recommend most people use pay-per-click for that reason. It's tricky. You can lose more money than you spend. Solo ads work beautifully if you can find the right publications. A lot of publications don't deliver quality traffic. You get what we used to call cheeseburger traffic, just people looking and not really interested. And a lot of marketers lately, when they run solo ads, they sell you clicks now. So they'll guarantee you a certain number of clicks. Even there, it depends on the quality of those clicks. It doesn't matter if you get 10,000 clicks if nobody buys. So you really need to know who you're buying your ads from. And again, it can be tricky. But solo ads do work, and they're one of my favorite techniques. Once I find a publication that every time I run an ad, I make several times my investment back, then it's a no-brainer to keep running those ads with that publication. But again, that can be tricky. I like recycled traffic, which is basically building a list and then marketing to them regularly. Get a bunch of people on a list where they know what they're opting in for. They agree to receive content from you, useful content, and also to receive promotions from you from time to time. And so I have lots of lists. I mentioned I have a database of 1.4 million subscribers. Those subscribers are actually on numerous sub-lists. As I bring them into my marketing funnel, I put them in separate lists based on what attracted them to me, what subject they were most interested in, what they were interested in learning about, or what they bought, or how I met them, so I know what to sell to them. And if you, while you're list building, that's what you need to do. You need to build sub-lists so you market to people based on what they're interested in. And you have to acknowledge that most people who visit your website aren't going to buy on the first visit. So what you want to do is, again, you want to build a list, and you want to basically invite them. I teach that with most websites, your prime objective should be to get those visitors onto a list so you can market to them. That's changing slightly now, but they're not going to buy on that first visit. 98% of them aren't going to buy on that first visit, and so you are missing out on the majority of your visitors unless you do get them onto a list where you can follow up with them. They visited your site because they were interested in something on it. So it's your job to figure out what that is and to put that in front of them over and over again until they're ready to buy. The key is having your funnel flowed out in advance. Otherwise, you're going to build a list. You'll have this huge database. You'll never follow up with them. And then maybe somewhere months down the road, you'll notice a list, and you'll send them an email, and they'll accuse you of spam because they haven't heard from you in such a long time. So you want to have it sort of flowed out. I teach my students to have a sequence of 10 to even 20 emails already flowed out at times that they're going to follow up with people with. And so you just pre-build your autoresponder sequence. The money is in the follow-up and the back end. And I was trained 15 years ago that you follow up with them until they buy or die or unsubscribe. If they joined your list because they're interested in a certain topic, they ask for information on a certain product or service, then they may not be ready to buy now or a month from now or 6 months from now, but they may be ready a year from now, or they may be ready next week. And so since you don't know when they're going to be ready, it's your job to maintain top-of-mind presence and keep following up until they tell you they're no longer interested. They'll do that by unsubscribing or just letting you know they're no longer interested, in which case I would unsubscribe them. And while I built most of my list just by sticking up a subscribe form saying join my list, that doesn't work as well today. And so today you need an ethical bribe. You need to offer them some gift, an audio, a video, a report, some piece of software, a template, or like a WordPress template, something that gives them a reason to join your list. Once you give them that ethical bribe, they'll join your list, and then you need to make it a high quality gift so that that first interaction you have with them is a pleasant interaction. If you give them garbage, you're not building a very good relationship. And so they're not going to come back and buy from you because they have a bad taste in their mouth, if you will. And some niches that I have built lists in, most of my subscribers did simply join because I asked them to. That still works today, but you need your opt-in form in more places because there's more competition to get people to join your list. And again, I think you need an ethical bribe. So I put my form in more places. I put it places like Facebook fan pages and on YouTube videos when I can work it that way, and all kinds of places. You just need the opt-in form all out there. In fact, one of the places that I'm putting it most now is in applications, in iPhone and Android HTML5 compatible applications, so that even when people are visiting my website through the app, they get an invitation to join my regular email list so I can follow up with them via email as well as via the application. The secret to getting a lot of, actually unlimited, highly targeted traffic is to identify where your customers are and then to stay in front of them. Remember, I mentioned that top of mind awareness. And again, most offline marketers are missing 85% of their potential visitors, subscribers, buyers, and fans. And that's because 5 times as many people access the net via mobile devices as they do using computers. Think about it, when most Americans and most people around the world actually, when they leave their homes, if they're in a place where they have a lot of automobiles, they grab 3 things. They grab their wallet and their purse, they grab their car keys, and they grab their phone. And even in third world countries where they're riding bicycles or walking, a lot of them have mobile devices. There are places where you wouldn't imagine, but they have recharging stations for their mobile devices. So the world is very connected via mobile, and that makes applications, to me, the way to go. People get down the highway in America and they're 10 miles from home and notice they don't have their phone. Most will turn around and go back and get it because they're that connected, and they surf the web from that phone all day, every day. So while my favorite method to generate joint ventures and to generate traffic and make sales used to be primarily seeking joint ventures, I still do a lot of that, and email marketing. After 15 years, I'm now focused on getting my applications, and an application is just a piece of software that's downloaded to somebody's iPhone or iPad or Android, and that lets me via my website or via the application itself communicate with them, and them communicate back to me too. So it's very interactive, and my big drive right now is to get my application into the hands of as many potential customers as I can. And I use old school means to do that too, such as I actually invite people already on my list to download my applications, because again, they're not getting all the emails. The emails just not getting through like it used to, and it's not getting read like it used to. So I can get those same people to download the application. I can reach them much more readily, and I can interact with them, and they can interact with me. And so it's extremely, extremely powerful. And I think it's critical that any online marketer have an application today. Even for niches like my cooking niche, which I mentioned earlier, I'm using apps to increase traffic and conversions. Right within the app itself, I offer people my cookbook, for example, things like that. And in the internet marketing space, I already mentioned that email open rates were less than 9%. I'm sorry, less than 5%. And now that 5% that open them, say you've got a list of 100,000. If 5,000 people open those and you get a 20% click-through rate, that means out of 100,000 emails you send, you're going to get 1,000 clicks. And what percentage of those are going to buy when they come over and look at your offer? So having that list of 100,000 or even a million is not as powerful as it used to be. Yet 98% of people respond to messages on their phones instantly. They can't resist when the phone buzzes or chimes or whatever it does or vibrates, them looking at the message and then checking to see what it's about. So you have an app where you can push out with permission messages to people, they're going to respond. And it's extremely, extremely powerful. When I talk apps, I'm talking really these little buttons here. This is an SMS text message app. That's a calendar app. This is like some other type of app. There's all kinds of apps, and we'll show you some of them as we get into it. Even the email and browsers are actually apps. But when I'm talking apps, I'm talking of businesses having them that actually put their entire website or their entire business in front of their client or their prospects. Just by them pushing a button on their phone, it opens up their website and opens up a channel of communication between that prospect and the application developer. Apps can put your entire website right in your customers' pockets or hands. Anything that you can put on a website, you can do on an application, though technology like Flash can be sort of quirky. And Apple, for example, doesn't allow some technologies to work on Apple devices because they didn't want to, So Some things work perfectly, some don't, and yet we can do a lot of things that almost anything you can do on a website, we can do in an app. We may have to pull that web page into the application or take the application and send you onto the website, but we can put it all right in the palm of your hands and the palm of your user's hands. Examples are GPS directions. An app can have a tab where when somebody hits it and they type in where they're at, it gives turn-by-turn directions to your business, or the app can have a button that says call us, and when somebody hits it, rather than them having to look up your phone number, it dials your business address, business phone number right away. It can let people share things. So somebody who has your app on their phone can share with friends via email or Facebook or Twitter or an SMS messaging. Lets a restaurant pull its entire menu right into the application, so people can even browse the menu and order right from within the application and make reservations too, incidentally. This is one that lets people see what else is in the proximity of a business. It's called a point of interest app. So it's using GPS technology to see what else is around, and I think it's pulling in stuff from Google Places in this case. An app can have an events tab where you list, the band that's in the local club that you're running, or the comedians, or it can list for realtor open houses, or for a membership site that an internet marketer has. It can list upcoming events and things like that. So there's a lot of possibilities here, and I want you to think outside the box as you're thinking about this. You can have a wall that shares pictures from your business or your web-based business too. You can have a fun wall where visitors to your business or to your website share with each other, just as they do on Facebook. You can have this wall within your app that is just people who are patrons or members of your site sharing with each other. Very, very powerful. It's like a Facebook within your app, but just from your world, just from your business. Extremely powerful. Push notifications. This is what it looks like in some instances when something pops up. GPS coupon. Basically, when somebody visits your business, this app recognizes they're in your business and it gives them credit for a visit. And after so many visits, it can unlock a coupon. For example, this one says after 5 visits, unlock the coupon and let them have, maybe you offer like a free dessert or free drink or whatever after so many visits. Maybe a free haircut. You're in a barber shop, so after the 5th haircut, they get the 6th one free. So each time they go, the app would count down, and on the 6th visit, it would give them the free haircut, basically. This is one where a golf course actually has a scorekeeper built right into the app. This is one that I put in all the apps that I develop, which is the capability to build a mailing list right within the app itself. It's a tips calculator, very popular with restaurants. QR code feature. Here, a restaurant or a nightclub or even any business can have this QR, this barcode near the register if they want to track how many visits they've gotten from patrons. But it can be used in 100 different ways. Any camera that has any smart device that has a camera built into it can also read QR codes with the right QR code feature built in, and so you can use that in dozens of different ways to include directly to any page on the internet you want to take them to incidentally. This is a calculator tab, which is you could use for mortgage calculations, you can use for tip calculations, you can use for 100 different things. This is a blog tab, so you can pull your entire blog right into your application. Of course, you can pull your Facebook and your Twitter. We'll show you this later on. I'll show you this in a minute. LinkedIn, your entire YouTube channel can be pulled right into your blog, so people can watch your video and it streams beautifully now. There was a time when it was sort of jerky. Now it streams beautifully, full speed, right into your app. So you can have a channel with dozens of different videos, and people can watch your videos and your message from right within their application without ever needing to log into the internet. Very, very powerful. This lets you put up all kinds of forms like appointment forms, order forms, feedback forms. This one does some more stuff with building a contact list within the app itself. And most of the major autoresponder services will integrate with the apps that I create as an app developer. There are 1 or 2 companies that don't let you connect to their APIs readily, and so with those, we would pull in your forum hosted somewhere on the internet, and it will still let you build a subscriber list. But we can integrate directly with most autoresponder services, so you will have a tab right within the app that lets people subscribe to your newsletter. OpenTable is a system that some restaurants use where you can just right within the app make a reservation without ever talking to anybody at a restaurant. Podcast integration, you can broadcast your podcast to anybody. So somebody sitting on a train going to work can be listening to your podcast from their iPhone or Android. It's very, very powerful. In fact, any audio that can be put online can be broadcast using what's called SoundCloud. So the technology is there to get right in your customers' hands, in their pockets, and their purses, so that you're there all the time and you maintain that top of mind awareness. I've already mentioned things you can readily incorporate into your app, including your blogs, forums, your Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, GPS direction, one-touch dialing, photo sharing, an in-app order form, all kinds of things. And so it is readily available. It's there. You can also send out last-minute notices, for example. If you were a restaurant and you knew that right before closing time or quitting time, that most of the local people getting, say, off duty at a military base would think, where do we want to party tonight? You send out a push notification to everybody who's downloaded your app saying, this club has whatever comedian or 2-for-1 drink special, it's happy hour or whatever, and you'll pull in a lot of business effortlessly with just a last-minute notification. Very, very powerful. These are examples of some of the apps, and what I really want to show you is how beautiful they are. These are apps displayed on the iPhone. They look about the same on an Android. They look about the same on an iPad. They're just sized for the device, and they've got the buttons. And so somebody has their iPhone, and when they hit the app that's named after your business, or that has hit the icon on their phone for the app, it pulls up the app, opens it up, and from there they can do things like call you, get directions, tell a friend, all those things. And this is what a push notification looks like for this particular one. The way these apps work basically is we have a server where we host your app. We build it in a proprietary system, proprietary software. We don't give our source code to anybody. You'd need a server and a developer's license to use it anyway, but a small fortune was spent developing this code, so we don't give it to anybody. And no app developer does it. I know of. We create the app, and then we host it for you, and from our server you can log in and manage it, and it pushes your messages, pushes your app updates up through the cloud to Amazon or Apple servers, or to the Google servers and Android servers, and from there the messages and all those things and updates are downloaded to the user's smart device. That's how it works. Now, as I get into talking about you having an app, I do believe that every serious business needs to have an app, but I need to make you aware that it's not just for you to put your direct response website up there. Apple, in particular, is very adamant that an app needs to be something people will use over and over and over again, not just a web page saying buy my stuff. And so your app, in order to get accepted, my company will develop your app, and we will submit it to Apple and to Android, and we'll put it out there in all the different formats. But it's up to Apple and it's up to the Android folks to accept it into their store, and Apple will not accept an application unless it has something that people are going to use over and over and over again, has the functionality built into it that in their eyes makes it useful, and they like it when it uses their native functionality, the GPS capability, the ability to upload pictures, the ability to chit chat back and forth. All those things that Apple likes is what will make them accept the app. So my company develops your app, we submit it, we can't guarantee it'll be accepted, we can't go back and forth with them, but I prefer looking at the app and saying, no, you need to build more functionality into it. So again, it's not just for a direct response website. It's for something that lets you interact with your customers. Nightclubs, restaurants, professional practices, car dealers, realtors, all of those, it's very easy to get your app accepted, because you know, if you run a restaurant, you're going to be communicating with your customers back and forth, or a nightclub, or a beauty parlor. But just a web page selling a single ebook or something, probably not going to get accepted into the Apple Store. We can still get it out there in Android and in HTML5 compatible formats, and people on the Apple devices can use those apps in those formats. It's just that you're not going to get it in the Apple Store. So just a word of advice there, and that's because I don't like people wasting time. Now, let me show you really quickly how I and clients are using apps. I'm going to give you a few quick examples. One is I have a cooking site. I have an app for that. Another one is a realtor friend that has an app. And another one is a professional sales trainer who also runs the local Glacier Kennedy Insider Circle chapter in my area. And for that, I'm going to bring up my browser. Now, my company is called The App Solutions. So theappsolutions.com is where you find us. And every client, when we create an app, we give them a control panel where they can log in and they can manage their application. They can make changes to it, even certain changes that change how it connects to the internet and how it works with it on a device. Require basically submitting a brand new application, so you can't make those types of changes where you're integrating with an API. Those are more difficult. But for just updating a menu or sending a message, you'll see what I'm talking about. We give you a control panel that all clients go to, and the client just enters their username and their password. I'm pulling up my recipe app, I hope. Yeah. And so when the client logs in, this is the control panel they get. And they've got buttons that let them edit the tabs on their application and even add additional tabs. And what we do is we have a support plan where my tech support people will work with you to add things and make changes to your application. But if it's something simple, we encourage you to do it yourself. It's just that if it's something that connects to an API, or if it's sort of techie, we don't want you breaking the application. So you do get full tech support with this application. You can edit, for example, this is my cooking app. My connection's a little slow, but the tabs are a home tab, a recipe tab where they can read recipes, they can shop for my cookbook. This is a tab that lets send out cards integrate, actually, so people can send a greeting card from the app. Here I encourage them to share recipes and chit chat with each other. This is basically about me tab, updates and messages I've sent to them. I pull in my blog, I pull in a photo gallery, I let them subscribe to my newsletter. I incorporated my Facebook and YouTube channels into my cooking app. And so, and all those tabs can be changed. The pictures and all that stuff can be changed. What I did with for example, my Meet the Cook tab was I basically pulled in the page from my website. I took the text and pictures and just put it within the application itself. And so that's what's on that tab. And it's fairly simple to update something like that. Some of the other tabs, it's a little more techy. This just lets you control the appearance, the colors and stuff like that. And this is where once it's ready, we publish it, and after we publish it, you shouldn't be messing with that button. The button you'll mess with the most is actually the message button here, where you type in a message of 128 characters or less, and you click the send, and it sends it to everybody who's downloaded the application. You can't send it to just a select number of people. You've got to send it to everybody who has the application. So if you want a bunch of different messages to different audience, you need more than one application. There's no way around that with current technology that I'm aware of. So that's the and this lets you send messages. Analytics shows you how many people have downloaded your app and things like that, problems they've had. There's a QR code functionality that basically lets you print out the QR codes for the Android and the Apple and the HTML5 compatible version, and maybe put it on your store window or in your advertising material, things like that, so that it's easier for people to download your application. Okay, and let's preview this app though, so I can show you what it looks like to a customer. As you log into your control panel, you'll be able to preview your app at any time as you're making changes and updates to it. So to preview it, you just log in and you click on this button here, and you'll have your app code that you'll enter, and from there you can preview it. So I type in the app code, which is displayed above the app, and it shows you what the app looks like. Shows you that when this one comes up, it invites people to subscribe to the mailing list. You can have that pop up automatically or not. That's your choice there. The recipes tab, some of the recipes I share with my people, and they can click on that to read the recipes. And the quick shopping tab lets them order my books. It takes them over to where there's a bunch of different options for packages of books I'm offering. So it's a shopping cart built right within the application itself. The Say I Love You is pulling in my Send Out Cards website. I'm a reseller for the Send Out Cards, which is an MLM. See, that's the way I get around the fact that they're not going to let 1 million, 10,000 people, 100,000 people all have apps that are the same, all putting out apps promoting, say, this product, but nothing stops you from having a tab on your website or within your app that lets you promote this product, and it lets people send out a greeting card from right within the app itself. So pretty powerful, pretty useful. And so we can build all kinds of functionality into your app. This lets people share recipes. There's a fun wall, meet cook I showed you earlier. There's a messages. I pull my blog, or I can pull any blog right into the application itself. Any feed I can pull right into the application itself, and have a tab for that. The newsletter tab just invites them with the verbiage I had, like join our newsletter to share recipes with other fabulous cooks. A good call to action, and pictures, and this is piping right into one shopping cart in this case. So we can put all kinds of functionality into the apps. What I'm showing you, Facebook, it takes you over to Facebook, where this is my fan page, but the person can log in and from there do anything they can do on Facebook. Same with Twitter. So very, very powerful. We can basically put your website and your social media presence and almost anything you want right within this app. Again, my computer's a little slow, so I'm not going to tinker with this one too much. I want to show you a couple of others. Let me log out of this one. If I can find the logout button. There we go. And let me show you one I created for a realtor friend. Her name is Tammy. And Tammy rocks. She does. And let's see if I remember that. Okay, this is Tammy's app, and let's just preview it. So Tammy, her site is myfavoriteagent.com, and so we gave the app the name Agent for this demonstration. So we load Tammy's app. Tammy's building a mailing list because she's a sharp marketer. People can click this link and call her directly. It'll dial her phone. They can click this link and get GPS directions turn by turn to her business. Click this link and share with friends that maybe they found a house that Tammy is selling or something like that, because she's an agent again. So this is the screen that happens when somebody opens their iPhone and they push that button. This is what pops up first, and from there they have all this functionality. Tammy incorporated a mortgage calculator so people can quickly calculate the loan amount, long-term interest rate, and what their monthly payments will be. Something sort of handy to have for a realtor. She's plugged in her Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn so people can connect with her that way. Tips. She shares with people tips on how to rent, own luxury homes with pools, how to take over payments with low down payments, country living. All these things are things that she's built right into her app. So things that will keep people going back over and over again. Things she can also update to make people have a reason for going back. The image gallery is home. She's got listed images of homes. Same with the listings. Trying to scroll, but the computer's sort of slow. Here in the event, she's got a December 28th open house, so she doesn't have a lot of events loaded, but she can log in to this tab and at any time change it and add new things as she gets them. The email photos, clients can email photos to her to get an early start on a listing. This just puts you in touch with the office. And so all of these are just things built into Tammy's app. Let's go and look at one more real quick. I just want to give you a quick idea of things you can build into it. She has the ability, Tammy, to push out to potential buyers of properties. Every time she lists a new house, I've listed a new house, or whatever they download the app for. So again, maybe they're not in the market right now, but she could push out reminders of whatever, time to winterize your home or whatever. But the thing is, she could spend all this money on direct mail where people may not get it or aren't paying attention to it, or she can use email, which again she has the same delivery problems that we all do, or she can push out a message touching her best prospects and customers from time to time and bring in lots of business. And if you're a realtor and you're selling houses in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, it doesn't take much to pay for an app like this. Let's look at my friend Steve Clark. See, Steve owns Steve teaches professional salespeople. Has a company called New School Selling. And let's preview Steve's app. Well, let's look at what tabs we gave Steve. Steve has his homepage. Steve has a regular podcast. He has a membership site so people can join his inner circle. He sells all kinds of services. Way for them to quickly contact him. He's very active on social media. So his LinkedIn, his Facebook, his Twitter posts are there. His blog. Things that these raving fans, these are testimonials and fan wall. People can submit photos. He's got his newsletter. He's got a QR scanner. Steve is a very, very sharp marketer. He's trained in what we call Glaser Kennedy style marketing, where you use as many different ways to maintain contact and interact with your customers as practical. And so Steve gets all this. And with all these tabs, actually you can edit them where the label and all those things are easily changed. Actually, I'll show you, for example, the podcast. With the podcast, the title of the button can be changed. The graphic for the button can be changed to include uploading your custom graphics. So we have hundreds of potential buttons, and we picked one that makes sense. But if you want a custom one, we can make that happen too. And then we have all these different types of tabs that we've got sort of templated, but if you need something special, we can work on that too. And so that's the way that works, and we can add new tabs anytime we want to, and we'll let you add new tabs, and actually you can even change the order of the tabs on the phone. For example, it makes sense to me to have the home tab first. This is a login to his membership site. We could put something else first, and it would appear first on the front of the application, and he can actually just grab it and move it by dropping and dragging, and it says the whole tab order saved. It that quickly it is updated and put this tab above the other tabs. And so let's put it back here. That's how easy it is for you using your control panel to update your app once we've built it for you and you have access to our system. Let's preview Steve's app. So again, Steve has newschoolselling.com. That's newschoolselling.com. Steve is actually the independent business advisor who runs my local Glaser Kennedy Insider Circle group that meets the last Tuesday of each month in beautiful Navarre, Florida. You're welcome to come out and join us anytime too. So just contact me and I'll send you an invite. These are serious serial entrepreneurs, people who built business after business and just like to network with each other. Anyway, Steve again wants to invite people to join his mailing list. People can call and get directions, tell a friend. I mentioned he has a membership site, so all this is it lets them log in to the membership site with a username and password without having to log in online. They could be out fishing or whatever. As long as they can get an internet connection, they can log in and interact. And so you can have a membership site where people consume your content on their iPads or their iPhones or Androids without having to use a computer, and that's powerful. Steve's podcast, he's been podcasting for a while. These are podcasts that go back to 2010, you see. And with any of these podcasts, you select the one you want, and there's a play button, rewind, and fast forward. Very, very simple stuff. This is Steve's LinkedIn profile, so people can log in. They can interact with Steve on LinkedIn. See more. I mentioned his inner circle. He has a gold, platinum, and silver membership, and these we explained by basically copying and pasting his web page into the app, exactly what's included in each package, so people can read about it, click on the button, and sign up right within the application. So again, this is how you put your sales page in the app without just making it a one-page sales letter. This is okay because again, it's got things that let people interact, such as the LinkedIn and the podcast and Steve's Facebook, for example. So again, people can log in to contact Steve, and once they log in, they can do anything they want on Facebook. But so they don't need to lug a computer around. They could be sitting in their favorite restaurant and tweeting or on Facebook. Very, very powerful. Once you get this application into people's hands, they'll use it to interact and to surf the net rather than lugging around a computer. And they will use your app, but more importantly, it lets you at any time reach out with a push notification and communicate with them. So my this is just a preview, and so it's got a lot of stuff that this is just a subscribe form for Steve's newsletter. So it feeds right into whatever system he's using. We basically, as we're programming it, have to plug in if it feeds from an API, we have to plug in the right API codes and stuff like that. And from there, we can let you build in right into your app the ability to build your subscriber list. But again, I think the most powerful feature of all these apps is it just gives you constant contact with your customers and lets you reach out with just a push of a button and invite them or remind them of a meeting or remind them 5 minutes prior to a webinar that you're getting ready to host a webinar. So very, very powerful. Let's go back to the slide presentation. I've showed you just 3 of the apps that I've personally developed. See if I can find my slides. And I have so much stuff running on my computer, it's a little slow. But anyway, I showed you my cooking app, I showed you Tammy's app, and I showed you Steve's app there. You can use these apps for anything you can imagine, but again, if it's just a direct response sales page, you're probably not going to get it into the Apple Store. So I don't want you wasting your time and my time and the Apple people's time pushing out just a buy my ebook application. Make it something where people interact. My cooking app is ideal because people can be in the kitchen and need a last-minute recipe and actually reach out to other cooks through the app and say, anybody got a recipe for how to stuff a turkey or a pumpkin pie? And actually other people using the app can interact with them right then and right there on the application. So this application, I can have this in a million hands eventually, and at the last minute I can push out a notice saying, you guys looking for a last minute Christmas present, why not grab a copy of my cookbook, and as long as you order by X date, or we can ship it express mail or whatever, it'll get there in time for Christmas. And so just with that one push, if I had this app in a million hands, I'd probably make 10,000 orders, 10,000 sales. It's that powerful. And yet if I send out that same number of emails, again, most wouldn't even get read. Most wouldn't get open. But this app is very, very powerful. So what we do is we design your app. We design and develop it and submit everything. When I say everything, we do it in the iPad, iPhone, HTML5 compatible version and the Android version, with HTML5 compatible being one that works on practically everything. What I do and my team is we review your marketing and we develop a prototype of the app and submit it to you for your approval. And once it's approved, then we push it, we submit it to Apple and to Android. You get unlimited push messages. Unlike with just straight text messaging, where you're typically charged by the number of messages you send, with this app, you can send as many push notifications as you want. Okay? You get unlimited updates, so you can log in and change any of those tabs I showed you at any time you want. You can also come to my team and say, I would like to update or add something because the internet's just changed and there's a new social media site or something, and I don't know how to do that. And you get this unlimited tech support, so we will do that for you. I make it easy so you're not forced to wait for my team to get back to you, because we do have a lot of customers. So if it's a simple change, I prefer you do it yourself, but I don't want you to do anything techie where you might break the app. Okay, so you get unlimited tech support. The same package is currently being sold for $3,000 or more. I've seen it sold for $5,000 actually to businesses, and it's worth it to them. Again, a realtor who just one sale, can make them 6% on a $500,000 home is quite a bit. And but we look at your website, we look at your social media presence and your overall marketing funnel. My people are trained they're techies, but they're trained in marketing, and they're trained in how things work. And so we design the app around your marketing funnel. I do have clients who paid $1,500 for the same apps package, but I'm going to give it to you today for an insane discount. The price is going to be $497 for us to develop and submit the app, and I'm submitting it using my developer's license and working with Apple and Android. And then once it's approved, then you just spread it, and we'll show you. I have training on the best ways to get people to download your app, how to get it out there. I don't just leave you hanging like a lot of people who you could get to develop an app. They hand you the app and say, okay, well, it's useless unless you're getting it in people's hands. And so I train you in how to get the app out there. That's a part of the support, okay? And so what you get is you get the app, and you pay $97 a month for hosting an unlimited premium tech support, which means basically I handhold as you get that app out into the marketplace. And that's $497 for us to develop and submit the app, and it's $97 per month for hosting and unlimited tech support. Order your package today, send them viral, and generate business relatively effortlessly. I mean, you've got that top of mind presence where people are constantly on their phone anyway, and all you're doing is making it really easy for them to reach you and deal with you. And then you can join me and my friends as we hang out on the beach around the world. So order the package today, and we'll show you how to send it viral and generate business relatively effortlessly. Then join me and my friends as we relax on the beach, logging in periodically just to check orders. You can do the same thing. These are some of the places I actually hang out at with clients and customers, because my business is largely on autopilot once I get those apps out there and running. And I want you to build the same type of business where once you get the traffic going, you don't have to spend all your time working on your business. You can enjoy life. So go ahead and order your app today. You can get it at theappsolutions.com. Again, those prices are very limited. We reserve the right at any time to end that special and take the price back up to where it should be, and it will probably be at $9.97 rather than $4.97 for most customers. And for customers who require a lot more programming, it could be $3,000 to $5,000. So go ahead and order your app today, please. And you can again get that at theappsolution.com. This is Willie Crawford. Thank you very much for your attention.